Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing this beautiful evening on Wednesday? For those tuning in on Restream, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, I'm your host, Dave Cias, here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Tonight we have the DDN slash Werewolf Wednesday. How's everybody doing this evening? I'm running a little bit late because I was watching the San Antonio Spurs game. And they won this time around. Hopefully, they'll win again. But that's what I was doing is watching the Spurs game. They won big time. How you doing, brother Andres? Hope you're doing great tonight. Just put a title on here, and it's not giving me a title of what I put up here. Let me see if it even put a title. No, it didn't. There we go. Put the title up on there. Who do we got here? We got Andres Carizales, Sister Beyond the Box. You know me, I'm always running a little bit late at nighttime. I was putting some minerals up. Still got a couple of crates to go. Uh, that's what I was working on while I was doing watching the football, the basketball game. Okay, let me share out this live to the groups that I showed to real quick before I continue. Here we go. We're all shared out, brothers and sisters, here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. See what we got here to this evening. Got Andres Carizales, La Morgan, Beyond the Box. We see the Duende in the house, Sister Madeline. Yeah, I just been relaxing, brothers and sisters. Got my workouts, getting them done whenever I can. This week is half workouts. Probably do half workouts for about 2 to 3 weeks to get back in the groove of things, and then I'll pick up my workouts like I was doing. So I'm doing half workouts all week since I'm still working through my entry on my leg. But I'm getting it done. Getting it done. So we got Al Morgan, we got Brother Scott Baker. How you doing, Brother Scott Baker? Let me see what I can share here with y'all. I think I'm going to share a photo in a moment that I haven't shared in a while. You know, when people talk about, and I will drop a link tonight. I mean, I know it's not, but I want to stick to the topic. We can stick to the topic of werewolves, lycanthrope, dogman, shapeshifter, skinwalker. All that falls in the same category. DDN. That's what I want to do. Stick to the topic of that. Focus on that. Then I have a picture here I wanted to share with y'all. One that manifested. It manifested in Elms Grove, but it didn't manifest all the way. But it's kind of like it's there, but it's like in between. Like I know it's 3D, 4D, whatever the case, but it wasn't there physically. But the only reason I took a picture of that area is because I heard a growl, right? So when I heard a growl. This one I took the picture, and in the picture I captured something that's in between dimensions, I guess, interdimensional, not interdimensional, probably manifested into a realm. Probably coming out of a portal or something like that. I don't know. I don't see a portal, but I have the image, and I'm going to share it with you right now before I continue. Uh, Depends what kind of movies you want to watch. Sister Madeline, there's a lot of movies with werewolves. Uh, be your military. You got the dog soldiers. You got the Howling. You got American Werewolf in London, American Werewolf in Paris. Uh, of course, you got see what are the other werewolves? I mean, there's a bunch of werewolf movies. You got a Silver Bullets, not the Silver Bullet from Oklahoma, but there's a movie called Silver Bullet. Um, then of course you got the Van Helsing, where you got the vampire and the werewolf. You know, then you got all the other movies. I'm thinking it's dealing with vampires versus werewolves. I just can't remember the name of the movie on top of my head. It's a couple of years back where the female was dressed all in black leather. I just can't remember the name of the movie, but it's dealing with lichen with the like they were called lichens or something like that, lycanthrope. And then you got the American Wolf in London. That was pretty crazy right there. Yeah, it's a Stephen King one called Silver Bullets. So what I'm gonna do, since we want to talk about werewolves, or let's. I was thinking about something, earlier. Underworld. There we go. That's it. I was thinking about how they got all this horror movies. They've been showing horror movies for a long time. I was messing around early in the morning. I just put on old movies on YouTube, movies that some I've seen, some I've never seen. Like movies from the '60s and '50s. So the one of the ones that's been here for a long time, is the vampire movies. Some of these movies were from the 1960s or even older than that. You know, uh, Talking about vampires. And I was checking that out, and then it makes you wonder how many of these movies have influenced people's lives. Especially when it comes down to horror, how it affects a person, because we've seen it just about all on Hollywood, right? We've seen vampires, werewolves, we've seen zombies, we've seen uh, the mummies, we've seen when it comes down to just about anything, right? In the movies nowadays, like Llorona, they made movies about all the things that's about written about. The only movie I haven't, I mean, they've seen. I think they did Jack and the Beanstalk, but that's supposed to be those giants supposed to be the Nephilim in some kind of way, But yeah, it's like everything that all the genres that people talk about here or in some of the podcasts is dealing with movies, things that people done put out a long time ago, and it's why you have to really be careful of what people are saying because sometimes the things that they're saying sounds like movies, like they seen it in a movie and they're sharing a story and they're describing something out of a movie. So you have to be careful of what people are telling you, But yeah, I think the movies has had a big part in possibly shaping the structure of some people's lives, right? Like, people that hunt ghosts, you know. There's a lot of movies like that of ghosts. There's a movie The Ghost, yeah, the Ghostbusters, uh, in which, and then you have many other movies dealing with poltergeist. I think it was a poltergeist movie with a little girl. And many movies, that there's movies that are created and people say things uh, like parts that they've seen in the movie, and they add to their story or what they're saying or whatever. So you have to be careful, uh, not getting deceived. I see it all the time where people place pictures, they capture something, but then if you Google it or you look at it, it's from somewhere else. It's AI generated and stuff like that. So let me see something here. I've seen some pretty crazy ones dealing with the werewolves, but they come from other countries. They're not even made in the U.S. I think there was one dealing with a generational curse, dealing with werewolf. Where the guy they had to tie him up, uh, chain him up and stuff. Or there's movies where they put the people in cells and lock them up in there because they supposedly transform into the werewolves and stuff like that. So I'll drop a link there just in case somebody would like to jump on. But let me look for this photo real quick that I want to share with y'all. Let me see if I can find it. I'm looking for the one that is translucent. All right, here we go. I think I found it. If it allows me to share it, I got it here somewhere. There we go. Okay, let me share this with y'all. Here we go. Check out this one. This one's from Elms Grove. I think I've shared it a couple of times only, but I'm going to share it right now. Check out this one. I heard a growl beside me, and I didn't see nothing visually, but I heard the growl like not too far. It was like very close. I was on the path, and I took a picture, and that's what came out in the picture. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's standing there, uh, but it's not in our reality. It's like in between, like it's manifesting. Let me see if I can get a closer look of it. So this would be the legs. The face is right here. You can see the ears. There's the face. There's the muzzle and the mouth, shoulders, but it's like in between. our reality is like manifesting. Let me see if I have another picture of it to get a different look at it. No, that's not it. Oops. Get that one. I think that one looks pretty good right there. It could be possibly other things here too, but this is a face that I'm talking about. I know sometimes people see other things in the photo, but this is the one I wanted to share. It's like right by the path. When we talk about this being here, we think about DDNs, that they have the capability to appear and disappear. I'll let y'all get a close look at that. Whoever has a computer, you can check it out. You see, when I was getting spiritually attacked in Elms Grove, I prayed to the Heavenly Father to show me my enemy because it was attacking me unseen. What I mean by that, brothers and sisters, I could hear footsteps running behind me, like something heavy, and by the time I would turn around, the contact was already made. I would get hit in the back. I'll fly like 4 or 5 feet up in the air, or possibly higher. And when I would land, I would tumble and roll. I would stand up. I would stand up with my guards up, ready to fight, but there'll be nobody there. And I'm talking about this is what happened in the park itself, where there's a lot of space that at least I would be able to see who was doing this. But when I would turn around to get ready to fight, there was nobody around. Never once did I see what was attacking me, until the day that I prayed to the Heavenly Father to show me my enemy. I mean, I was getting hit from all directions. I will keep this to myself because I didn't want to alarm anybody. What I was going through was a personal thing, what I was going through. I was getting attacked big time, They were trying to, you could say, bond me, possess me in a sensible way. These demons, where they were trying to show me images, they're trying to get into my head, telling me all kinds of bad things, like they wanted me to be angry and things like this. But I always maintained my heavenly love foundation. I will go into prayer, even though I was being spiritually attacked. Then I prayed to the Heavenly Father. When He showed me my enemies, I prayed for Him to show me what was the opening that they were using to attack me. And the opening that I had to think about it real hard because I asked for forgiveness for when I went to Operation Storm. And then I remembered it was unforgiveness from the man that tried to come at me with a machete when I was around 10 years old, or possibly 9. They tried to attack me with a machete. I hadn't forgiven that man, but I forgave him. But these demons here, when you haven't forgiven somebody, you have anger, vengeance. But I had forgotten, being in the military, being being a single father, raising my son. I had forgotten about the anger and vengeance I had for their man. And I had to let it go. It's one of those things that, it had to do with a lot of things that happened in my family. And yeah, anybody that's trying to protect their loved ones, if somebody comes in a threatful manner, you're going to hold them accordingly to their actions. But this right here, we're not supposed to take action in our own hands because the Heavenly Father is a protector and avenger. So that's why I forgave him, and I remained with my Heavenly Love Foundation. When I did that, the all the things that were happening to me, and there in Elms Grove, all the physical attacks, spiritual attacks, you name it, all those things ceased because I cut the negative tie. I cut the opening that I had. So that means that they had no jurisdiction to do what they were doing anymore. But they were coming at me in numbers because they wanted me dead, literally wanted me dead. Of course, the cop out would be, he was a veteran, he's got PTSD. No, that's what probably the probably the medications that he's taking and was making him hallucinate. Well, the camera doesn't take medications. The camera or equipment that I use doesn't have PTSD. And here's the proof. I said I'm gonna take pictures or record to keep a documentary. So maybe later on, when I overcome the enemy, then I can talk about it to people that might be going through the same thing that I'm going through. That's why I created initially Positive Spiritualist. That was my original group where I would pray for people and help out people spiritually. That got targeted by the cults of the Bigfoot community. And I'm talking not because they believe in Bigfoot. I'm talking about the people behind the curtains. They use Bigfoot as a front of what they truly believe in, which is they're devil worshippers. They believe in Satan. So I had those people attack me, But the Heavenly Father showed me who my enemies were. He's been showing me my enemies for a long time. Like I said, vengeance is never mine. So the only thing we're supposed to do, or like I do, I just maintain my Heavenly Love Foundation and let the Heavenly Father take care of the thing of the unseen forces or the people that come up against me. He takes care of my enemies. That's not up to me. The only thing I'm supposed to do is maintain my Heavenly Love Foundation and do the works that I'm doing. But here you go. This is an example of the activity when I talk about unseen forces, and people are like, "Oh, there's no unseen forces. Oh, that's pareidolia. Oh, this and that." Of course, they're going to say that, especially if it's coming out of the mouth of a Bigfoot believer, Squatch believer. They're going to say that because they don't want you to know or even a dogman or werewolf believer. They don't want you to know that these cryptids are not here in the flesh. They don't want you to know that the cryptid is really demonic in nature, or the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. They don't want you to know this. I think there was a guy there. They called his encounter with a werewolf or a dogman, the Rougarou. He got pissed off. He literally blew a fuse. I think you all know what I'm talking about. That guy literally blew a fuse when I said that there were DDN. There were somebody demonic Nephilim. He's supposedly supposed to be a preacher. So the question I have for him is, how are you going to name something a Rougarou when you know for a fact if you're a priest or a minister that you know that the name you're given is a false name, because what you encountered was not either. What it was is the DDN, the disembodied demonic Nephilim. Yeah, that guy blew a fuse when I brought that up into the equation, and I have the proof. That's the thing. I just didn't say it to say it. I have evidence, and I have downloaded several pictures. But this one here, you can see it standing there. I would say it was pretty tall, like around 8-9 foot tall on the side of the path. So I'm just speaking my truth here on spiritual encrypted encounters here on That's why I named it DDN, Werewolf Wednesday. I'm speaking my truth here. I have pictures like this that are things that I would capture. Sometimes the energies of these demonic entities, DDN, what they would do is blow my batteries up off my cell phone, like literally blow them up. If I had a camcorder, the camcorders with the batteries, I had like 3 batteries. I would go in there with 3 batteries strong, just in case, just to record. And freaking the batteries were drained out of drained like that rapid. They were rapidly drained, like they didn't want me to record in there. Sometimes the lenses where you take the picture, it will crack in half, or and at times the phone will blow up, like literally blow up. Like the movie Mission Impossible, when the item they're using to communicate, it just blows up. Well, yeah, that's what the DDN would do. They have those capabilities. So I'm just showing my proof here tonight. There's always it's crazy, right? How these people that they call themselves experts and cryptozoologists and all this stuff, but they have no proof of their own. I have a guy that's been bombarding me every picture of place. I started working out. He wants to tell me about Bigfoot this, Bigfoot from Oklahoma and from Oklahoma, but he got no proof to show me. Show me some proof. I'm not afraid of the government. I'm showing the proof here, or anything. If people are coming against me because they belong to a cult, they know exactly what the DDN is, and they're trying to cover it up, saying it's a Bigfoot or a werewolf or a dog man. You know what y'all about. At least I'm showing my proof. What proof do y'all got? That's what I'm asking. What proof do y'all got? I'm showing my proof here in spiritual encrypted encounters that it's not something that's physical in the flesh. I'm showing my proof that it's something that's in spirit. That's why I would say, whatever you see, whatever manifestation you see, put that manifestation to the test. Test that spirit. Tie, bind, and rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ. And I'm literally the only channel that has ever really said that to anybody, to put the spirit to the test. I've been talking about the DDN for a long time. I'm the one that gave it the name, the DDN, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. They're the disembodied, which is spirit, demonic Nephilim. They're the spirits of the Nephilim. That's what they are. So I'm just giving you an example. I know some people try to compare how the predator, there's some creature that like the predator. Well, I've seen things in that nature, but it's pixeled, where it's coming in. I think I have a video when one is charging at me, and when it's charging at me, all my hairs are standing up. So what do I do is, I'm not seeing it charge at me. I go into prayer. I'll start praying against it or rebuke it. I type under rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, or I'll say the Our Father to protect the vessel. Spiritual warfare is very real. I'm just saying that the things are around. So let me take this picture off, and I'll find another picture to share with y'all real quick. I will drop a link here to see who wants to jump on and chime on this. And I just want to stick to the topic. I want to stick to the topic of what we're talking about here, of the DDN, how they have the abilities to not just manifest to look beastly, but they have the abilities, because they're demonic in nature. They can mimic voices, take different appearances. You can be standing by a tree and it's not really a tree, but it's a manifestation of the DDN that's manifested to look like a tree. Because it can take a manifestation just about anything. You can see a cat or a dog, and the cat or the dog could be the manifestation of the DDN or a possible shapeshifter skinwalker, because they have the abilities to change form that way. So if you're ever in the woods and you're running into all these things, be careful. That's all I can tell you. Stay prayed up. Be careful for whatever you see, not to lure you, right? Or to make you think, oh, look at the little cat. Oh, look at that happened to me, right? It happened to me when I found the little dog. Y'all remember that? But I'm gonna take my Heavenly Love Foundation. Okay, let me find another photo here for y'all. Here's another one that, let me see if I can find it. Which one I want to share with y'all now? Here's one. Y'all ready for this one? And there's a link if anybody wants to jump on here. Check out this one, folks. You know, talk about, the natives that used to live here in Central Texas. They were called the Tonkawa. They were called dirty Indians because they didn't like the agriculture, and they was always out for the hunt, right? And they were cannibalistic. That they will eat other humans. If they will kill somebody, they'll eat a body part of them, and we know what happens when they do something like that. What they become, right? So they become the wind IGOs, right? And here in Central Texas, there's a lot of activity of that, of manifestations of either of the wind IGO or the shapeshifter skinwalkers. So I'm going to show an image right now of a face of something that looks beastly. Pay attention to where it's wearing around the neck, because it's got a necklace around the neck, and it looks like teeth of some kind of animal. So I'm gonna show this right now to y'all. Here we go. Let me know if y'all can see the necklace. This looks like it's got teeth on it, but it's right there. Literally, I think I have the full picture of it. I have to look for it. Before it was standing, it was looking at me. I believe this one here is the same one as Cocaine Werewolf, but this was taken in a different place. So I don't know if the manifestation that they take, did they look the same or what, or there's more than one, but it's literally looking at me, like straight at me in this photo. Let me know if y'all see it, wherever it's here, but I can help you out here, show you. There's the eyes, there's the nose, there's the mouth, possible ear here, the other ear here. And here's the necklace that I was telling you about that looks like teeth. Is wearing the necklace here around the neck, which to me, why would it be wearing a necklace around the neck? The only thing I can think of is because it's a shapeshifter skinwalker. It's a native shapeshifter skinwalker. They have the abilities to change form into a beastly form. And here it is. It's wearing a necklace around his neck. And I think I have another photo of it somewhere that I'll look for it in a moment, where it manifested again in a different location, but you could tell the necklace that's around his neck, which is right here. How you doing, Sister Cynthia? I think now what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can find the other picture of it. So I'm just showing you this one. It's a close-up of it, how it's looking, and it's got the necklace around its neck. It's got the big ears. You know, it's a spirit. But it's just when it comes to that, you have to be careful, right? Because a lot of the shifted skinwalkers, they dealt in the dark arts that was taught to them by the DDN. So they have some of the capabilities of the DDN, right? Like the spirits roaming Earth, to be able to manifest to beastly things, or they can manifest into animals, of the hides that they carry. So I'm just showing the face how it's looking at me, right? So I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to show you another photo of it in a different area. I think I have here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here's the one that I'm going to show you right now. I believe it's the same one because I see the necklace. It's just a little bit blurry picture, but you're able to see the same necklace around his neck. And here, it's not in the beastly form. I believe it's going to be in the native form, and the manifestation of it's still looking native. But the reason I know it's him, it's the manifestation of the beast is because of the necklace. I guess you could say the native is wearing around his neck. So I'm gonna share that photo with y'all right now. Here we go. Check this out. I'm just showing you that these things that are out there, they're more spirit than in the flesh. That's why I'm showing you the evidence here. So here we go. Check this out. There it is right there. And it's not by itself. The native spirit is not by itself. There's other native spirits around it. I see a woman, a child. But if you look at the native, uh, he's got the necklace around his neck. The spirit of the native has then the same necklace the beastly manifestation had. It's got it right around the neck, and I'm going to show you where it's at. The necklace is right here around his neck. Same necklace. It's just he's not in the beastly form here. He's in the spirit form of the native. There's all kinds of spirits here. Spirit here. Spirit here. Another spirit here. All kinds of activity in this photo. I felt a lot of energy coming from the woods. So I took a picture, and this is what I captured. I could feel a lot of energy around me, and I captured this image here. But you can see the native right here, the face of the native. The face of the native is right here. He might be wearing something on his head, but there's all kinds of spirits here around him. But here's a necklace around his neck. Many spirits around him. So now what I'm going to do, since I'm going to show you another photo of what cousin Jesse calls cocaine werewolf in a moment, because it's the same one, I believe. Let me see. Oh yeah, all my senses were triggered. You know, spiritual warfare, brothers and sisters. We have to protect our vessel at all times. Uh, it's a spiritual warfare. We not sometimes we might be able to see, but there's times that if one of our senses is being blocked, we still got the other senses. We can still sense, we can still hear, we can still smell, sometimes taste, because that's where they attack. These unclean spirits, they hit you in those points where it's dirty. Tear ducts, they get dirty sometimes, right? The ears with the wax, the boogers, dirty mouth. If you're not brushing your teeth, dirty mouth, and your privates. That's how they attack in spirit, is through locations that are dirty. That's why you're supposed to keep your house clean at all time. Keep your house clean. My mom used to have a saying, "Casa limpia, cosa buena," which means clean house, good things, or cosa buena, which is good things. Casa mugrosa, dirty house. She would say cosa mala, cosa cosa mala. Basically, if the house is dirty, then it's going to attract evil things. That's why you keep not just your foundation clean, but your home clean. And I can only imagine how many people that are going through things that they might have a mess in their house, and they don't know that the reason you're supposed to keep it clean is because when these unclean spirits come, they can hide. They like homes that are dirty, that are not clean, because they hide in those locations where it's dirty. So I'm gonna take this picture off right now. And this one was in the middle of the woods. The sun was setting, and I just my senses went crazy, and I took a picture there because I could feel the energy of the spirits right in front of me. It was where it curves, and I took the picture of it. So let me see if I can find another one for you. There's one that we gotta have here that if it's not here, and this one is the same one. It's just you can't see the necklace on it, but it's the same one. In which it's in this beastly manifestation that the shapeshifter skinwalker can take, or if it's a DDN, right? Because they have those capabilities. So here you go. There he is, folks. I showed the same one in 3 different locations. That's the same one as the other 2 pictures. One was beastly. The other one was in his native form of the skinwalker in his native form, and this one is in the beastly form. So it's the same one at the different locations, and I have another picture of it where it's flipping me off, but I will have to look for that picture. I showed you the same one in 3 different locations. Beastly manifestations. spiritual manifestations. That's why I say that they're disembodied, which means spirit, demonic, Nephilim. They're always trying to find a vessel. This, you know, they're always trying to find a vessel because they don't have a vessel. They don't have a body. They're jealous of us because we're children of the light. So they're always trying to find a vessel to possess and to destroy. That's what they do. The same thing that we're doing back in the time of pre-Noah, when they were destroying all of mankind, all the animal, God's creations. They got eliminated, so they remain in spirit, unclean spirit, because their creators were the watchers. So they still remained because they have, I guess you could say, demonic or watcher capabilities, which would be demonic. And those are the unclean spirits that the Bible talks about. People know them as demons, right? That's what they are. They roam earth, trying to see what vessel they can pollute, possess, because they're unclean, and see whatever they can overtake or whatever they can take. No, that's what they do. Yeah, it's cousin Jesse's friend, cousin Jesse. He might be asleep. I know he likes Werewolf Wednesdays, but I know he's busy doing his rehab and stuff like that. That's all right. I'm picking up the slack here. There you go. Got the shirt here of the werewolf. Yeah, cousin Jesse calls him Cocaine Werewolf because of the nose. It's white. Thank you, Sister Madeline. And I'm wearing a necklace for protection. It's got amethyst on it. It's got all kinds of things on it. Thank you, Sister Neva's Angel. Or clones now the new vessel the DDN can occupy. The only thing, Scott Baker, the DDN can occupy things that are images. They can occupy pictures. If it's an image of a human, it can occupy it. Pictures. It can occupy, if it's a doll that looks human, it can occupy that. Images of things that look human. It has those capabilities. So yeah, they'll possess that. But you got to remember one thing, Brother Scott Baker. It doesn't matter what they possess, right? If they're possessing clones, we still can tie bind and rebuke them in the name of Jesus Christ. Just like we do people, we could do if it's an animal, if it's a clone, or whatever the case is. How people talking about they're creating the Nephilim, this and stuff. We have the capabilities spiritually to put that spirit to the test. So if the Nephilim decides to possess AI, to possess you're talking about clones or doppelgangers, we still can put that spirit to the test. We can type and rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ and overcome it through Jesus Christ with a heavenly love foundation. Okay, let's see if I can find something else. Cousin Jesse, if you watch the replay, here's Cocaine Werewolf for you. You know, I had him in here a little bit. But yeah. And just like that, maybe I'll bring him back later on. If anybody got any questions with me, for me, that what I'm talking about, you're more than welcome to ask. Shoot away. Ask me anything. And I'll answer accordingly to what your question is. Because I do got more pictures here. Not all DDN look the same. They take different manifestations. But I can share another picture for right now. Let me look for another photo. You want to see how high that the Cocaine Werewolf was? Where he's at? And I got a picture here where you could tell where he's at. Okay, check this out. I'm going to show you Cocaine Werewolf, where he's at. And there's a lot more than just him. So here we go. Let me show you the original picture of where Cocaine Werewolf was at. Here we go. Let me share it. That's your original picture. And Cocaine Werewolf is up there on top of the tree line. Either it's very tall or it's on top of some branches, but it's pretty tall. It's looking down from on top of the tree line up there behind me. If y'all can see him, if y'all don't know where he's at, I'll point him out to you. And he's not by himself. Cocaine Werewolf is right here. That's where I got the photo, because he's right up here on top of this tree line. And there's others. There's one that's right here. He's standing here. There's another one right here in the edge. You notice the noses. This one even has a little bit of white, the one that's standing there. And there's a face of a big one here and other faces. There are all kinds of faces, but this is where I got Cocaine Werewolf from. He was on top of this tree line right here. They were coming from inside the woods towards me, but I went out the other way. I went out to where the highway was. I did not go back through the path. I'm just showing you where he's at, which is he's up here. Scott Baker, I think I have a picture, not of a white werewolf, but imagine this. To me, it's it's just a manifestation. But what of a white, what people call a Sasquatch, but a white one. Now, I guess a white one would be a Yeti, right? The snow, they're called Yetis. The Bigfoot that lives in the snow in the Appalachian Mountains is called the Yeti, and it's color white. But I got a picture of one that's white, but that I caught in the woods. But you could tell it's not something that's in the flesh. It's something that manifested, just like the other picture of the werewolf that I was showing the manifestation. I have something that looks like a yeti or a Sasquatch that's white. I will have to look for it and share it with y'all. But let me stop sharing this one for right now. I can share another picture, and while I share this picture, I can look for. Well, I'll share this one here for right now. This one here, it didn't know what form to take. But it's got horns. Okay, here we go. I think y'all recognize this one because it's from the other side of Elms Grove. There you go. There it is. It's got two horns. He's got his mouth open, showing teeth with his tongue out. But I'm going to look for the other picture of the white one that I got here. Tell me what y'all think about that one, folks. I think last Wednesday I showed you the video of where it was standing at. That's the one that was saying run. It literally said run like 2 or 3 times. I have the video. I have footage of it moving. I've been turning its head and everything. It could speak. It's not because it's high intelligence, it's because it's a spirit. Shifter skinwalkers can mimic voices, wendigos, DDN, the Legion, and many other entities can mimic voices. I have a short reel of it, and I'll show it so I can show it to y'all when it's moving its head and everything. But I'm looking for this other photo right now. See if I can find it. I can show you show it to you with a different color. There it is. But I think this one looks pretty good because this one takes a little bit away from the picture. I think. Let me see. Yeah, I think. Which one looks better? This one or this one? I think this one gives it a little bit of color. Let me see how it looks in the big screen. There we go. I'm looking for the photo, brother and sisters. See if I can find it. The other phone that had all my photos, it gave out on me. Yeah, once I find the photo, I'll share it with y'all. It's here somewhere. You just gotta find it. Any questions, brother and sisters, of the photos that I'm sharing? I'll put on the other one for right now. The full photo, I'll show the, yeah. Still looking for it. Uh, yeah, I got the one that flipped me off. I can send that also. What I can do, I can find the short reel and play the short reel, so you can see it move its head. Let me go to that. Well, this is the one of the one that's flipping me off, so I can share that one for right now. Let me share that one. Still looking for the other one, brother and sisters. Hopefully, I got it in here. Found it. Let me send it over. Okay. Yeah, that one's flipping me off, man. I believe it's the same one. It's flipping me off, and it's like literally telling me to leave the space. I'm walking in between the side of the road and the highway, and it's flipping me off, like telling me to get the f out of there. You see the middle? He's sticking out the middle finger. If you really think about it, how did they communicate with the natives? How did they communicate with the children from the missing 401 cases? They had to speak. Was it telepathically, or did they literally speak to them? They have those capabilities. So if that can manifest into anything, they can do things like regular people, like in that picture, flipping me off, like F you, telling me to get out of there. So let me stop sharing this one for right now. We already hit the 1 hour marker. So what I'm gonna do, I'll drop a link, see who wants to jump on and talk a little bit of what I'm sharing. But I do got the one with a white that I'm gonna share in a moment. Here's a link to whoever wants to jump on here, so we can speak about all these things that I'm talking about. So I'm gonna I'll drop the link to whoever wants to join here, and we can talk about what I'm speaking about. But I do got the picture of what people want to call a Yeti, right? Of something that looks like a Bigfoot. It's either a Bigfoot. It looks like a Squatch, but it's color white. So let me see if I can get that for you. So are you ready for this photo, man? This is going to blow your mind here. This is going to blow your mind because I used to have a close-up one of one that was white. I put it in the Bigfoot group, and they banned me. They banned me because it was so big right beside me. They banned me. Probably scared the crap out of them. But that's what they manifest that way for the fear factor, right? To cause fear. Check this one out. Are you ready for this one? You're ready for the white Bigfoot? But you got to think about it in the spiritual aspect of things. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll share with y'all. I got it on standby. Man, it's a white Bigfoot. So what would the white represent? We've seen. I got some videos of white mist. What would that represent? Would it represent something good because of the color white? So imagine a white Bigfoot or a white werewolf. What would it represent? The balance, good and evil. There's some that say unclean spirits or darker than night. But then there's some that are still spirits, right? But they're white. So check this one out. Here we go. There's the original photo. I'm going to let you look at it from a distance for right now. and I'll do a close up of it so you see where it's at and what it's doing. How you doing, Sister Katrina Ball? Welcome to Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I'm the host, Cias. We got Scotty B. Uh-oh. We got a dogman that's got a possum captive on his shoulder. What's going on here?
I got my little friend.
So I'm gonna do a close up of it. I'm just showing you the full picture, right? The full picture of this. So I'm gonna do the close up so you can see what seems to be a white Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Here we go. I'll be nice. I won't say the other word that sometimes I say. But here we go. Let's do a close up of it. There's a different shades here, but it's right here, right here. This is the full picture, right? Where it's standing, and it's right here. There's the face, and it's looking my direction. So I'm going to continue to do close-ups. I got different filters on it, but I'm going to get to where the close-ups are. Trust me, I put a different filter just to make sure what I'm seeing is there. So here we go. I think I got the close-up right there. Can you see him now?
That's a Sasquatch, I think.
But do you see the color white, brother Scott?
Yeah. Got white eyes too, it looks like. I mean, what I'm seeing is kind of like there's no fur or hair on the nose, on the cheeks.
Or the face, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have any like hair there, but you can see that it's got this white mane, or I mean, it could be a dog man too. I'm not, it's hard to tell because, when you're looking, if you look at a profile, it's got a muzzle, it's a dog man or a werewolf.
Yeah, but this one looks more of what people consider a squatch.
Yeah.
We'll let the viewers say what they think it is. I'm just showing you that it's color white. I could get a close up of it if y'all want me to make it bigger. Let me see if I can get a real close up of it. All right, let's look at it. A little bit closer right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards a dog man now for some reason. I mean, the shoulder, like, if you look at the above the bicep, you look at that shoulder, it's kind of like rounded. I think like a Bigfoot is like massive, more massive, in shoulder. Like, I mean, let's just estimate that the width of his shoulders are like 3 feet. But like Bigfoot, they're more like square. You know what I mean? So to me, it looks more like a werewolf, because the shoulder, it doesn't come out like a football player, with shoulder pads. You know what I mean? You have the shoulder pad. That's kind of like a Bigfoot. It's got more of that, the square shoulders sticking out. Where this creature seems to be, that the shoulders, like this part here, is, it's not like that. Of course, his arms are down, but I don't know. It seems that looks. I don't know. To me, I'm going more with a dog man. That's just my interpretation. A white one. And then the face is kind of doesn't have any hair on it. Looks like it's got white eyes, but I don't know.
Yeah, the face looks. I mean, the legs are not. The legs are huge, man. They're not. How should I say, bipedal or curve inward. They looks like the legs by itself looks like a squash, because they're not curved inward like a dog man or a werewolf or lycanthrope. But it seems like there's another one right there beside it.
Yeah, I don't know. It takes a while to really study these photos.
Yeah,
it really does. I mean, you tell people about what you see, and they just don't see it. I mean, it takes a lot of discerning and a lot of repetition, and it's almost like your mind is really trying to, is computing in your mind, trying to piece together
yes, you have to zoom.
the true nature of this thing.
I'm just showing you that the way the legs are will be like the legs of what people call a Sasquatch. I mean, do you think that maybe possibly that is generating energy? Because right behind there, maybe like 4 or 5 feet away from it, is the creek, and the creek has limestone. Do you think maybe it was charging his battery of some sort?
Well, water is that, energy. So, we're talking about, in a different dimension, these sorts of things. So, how can we really, figure out this phasing in and out stuff? It's all frequency, but I don't know. To me, I don't know, just the way its head is and the shoulders and the neck. I mean, it's like, and it's similar to like a Bigfoot kind of looking thing, but I'm speculating.
Because of the legs don't look like a.
I just don't see that yet. I can't compute it yet. The leg part. I'm just like from the waist up. The arm there. You see the arm, and God, because I'm seeing that color, that white, kind of like a pasty white, furryish looking, hairy. You can see it, but then going down, what you're seeing, I can't yet make it out. But like I'll get on your show, and then I'll come back and say, "Oh my God, now I see it."
The leg, the one of the legs that's forward is here, and the other one is right here. The face is right here.
Yeah.
The nose, the eyes, the mouth. It literally got a nose. I mean,
Yeah, it just looks
it's
disproportional.
it,
I don't know.
yeah.
The
Well,
legs
it's
look
got a pretty white
disproportional.
nose, nose here, like a kind of like a. I'm not gonna say a gorilla, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
when you think like
I agree.
trollish or
Yeah,
like a troll,
I
you
agree
know,
with you. I agree with you on that. You know,
because it's got a nose. It doesn't have a muzzle. It's got a
I
nose
don't
and
know.
it's got a mouth.
It could be a half breed between those two. I don't know. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know what kind of you know like you said, these
Yeah,
DDNs can manifest. You
yeah,
know,
into anything. And then
phase.
there's another one, something else here looking also.
It could be phasing in between a Bigfoot and a dog man. I mean, phasing. Like two different entities in the same picture. We don't know. This stuff is, it's very fascinating. You know,
So the other picture that I used to have was like real close up. It was like maybe 2 feet away from me, and I took in a picture because I felt energy beside me. And the only picture that I had is when they reported me, mass reported me, and I lost all my pictures. And I had put it on somebody's group, and the picture's probably still there. It just I can't remember the name of the group I was on. And so I hear people say, "Oh, I got a picture of a white Bigfoot, a white Bigfoot." Well, I'm the one that had put the picture of a white Bigfoot, like right standing right beside me, and it could have been either a white Bigfoot or a white, you know, shifted skinwalker, werewolf, or how the comic book is the Wendigo. That's this color white,
well, the reason I
or
brought this whole subject
or
up, Babe,
a
about
Yeti.
white was, these werewolves, they're all pitch black. So it's like, okay, so what's this black? Black is kind of like this. I'm just going to use this term. It's kind of like, you know, uh, occultish, demonic side, color. And then when you refer to white, it's kind of like, the holiness color. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I see so many, that's why I made mention, like, I haven't seen, people reporting, but uh, I think they can blend into any type of fauna, like the snow, right? So if this Yeti or whatever in the Himalayas, they're white, so they can camouflage, they can lay down
I'm just showing
snow.
it that
Yeah,
in Texas there's no snow. This
yeah,
was during the summer, and I was able to capture its spiritual manifestation. That's what I'm showing is a spirit of
right,
it because I
right,
know it's not in the flesh,
right.
but I was able to capture the spirit, a spiritual manifestation of it.
So maybe the colors are also referring to the frequency that when it comes in stable, like you see this dog man, you know, and it's like it comes into this realm that it's stable, it appears as black. You know, I'm just throwing stuff out there, but
Sister Katrina says she sees 3 faces in the whole white part. Yeah, and there's another face right there to the left, but it's color black, which is right here in this section here.
now is this a video camera picture or is it just a snap off your camera picture?
This was off my video.
Okay.
Yes. The thing is, I would have to look for the video. I got it somewhere, but yeah, it's. I was debunking a video, and I got this off the video. So I'm going to stop sharing this for right now. There we go. I told you I had a picture. Then I have another picture that's weird. That I'm thinking is kind of like a. I don't even know what it is actually. Let me see if I can find it. This one is a picture from. I wasn't a picture, but I took me out of the picture because people always say, "Why are you always in the picture?" Well, I'm just was taking a picture after doing a walk, and I happened to capture the image of something behind me. Uh, so it looks like a shape. I don't know if it's a dark shadow figure, uh, a squatch. It's something that's standing behind me, looking at me. I just don't know what it is, but it's got form. So I'm going to share that photo real quick.
Now,
So,
does your periphery of your eyes, do you pick this up, Abe, and then you take the picture? Or, besides sensing, because I know I have looked out of the side of my eyes, at the corners, and I do see these, I see movement, and I'll go and look, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I'll go like, it's like, is that my son? No, I just saw something, it's like,
yeah, they move very rapidly, so you're
yeah,
able to
yeah,
see
it's like,
them
boom,
through parallel vision through the side. You're able to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
them.
It's like that tiny side of your eye there. It kind of
Yeah.
like picks up this fast moving or stuff that you can't, see. At least, picking it up.
But here's the original one. Well, the original one, of course, is me taking a selfie. But back there in the background, you're able to see something. It's when we talk about this unclean spirits, the DDN, that they're darker than night, right? That they're darker than night. They look like shadows or whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
There's something back there in the background. Let me do a close up of it.
Yeah, those eyes are self-illuminating. They're like really
Whoa,
stand out. Those eyes really stand out.
I don't know what happened here. You booted me out. Okay, here we go. Can you see it there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm gonna do a close up of it. I have one, I think one close up here. There we go.
Yeah, again, it's black, right? I mean, it's not white. It's
Yeah,
not gray. I mean, this is pitch black.
pitch black, darker
Pitch
than night.
black. And you got a green background, green tree, normal trees, green foliage, and your hair is black or whatever, but
Yeah.
behind. But I mean, you have to do that. You have to take pictures that, because they're around. So I don't know what they're talking about. You being a picture. So what? That's
No, I'm
easier.
just saying that when I
That's
when I was looking at the photo, because I had just finished doing like 3 miles. Every time I would do a workout, I was sending a positive message. I did the workout, and when I looked at the picture, like, whoa, what is that behind me? You get to see the head and the silhouette, the shoulders. Like it was literally standing behind me, but it's in a distance. In the original photo, it's in a distance, but I'm just doing a close up of it
okay.
because the distance is further than this. When you have see my foot pictures a little bit further back, but when you do the close ups, it gets it closer and closer. Let's see what the viewers think about this photo. So, what do you think this could be?
Well, the head is enormous. Number one, you can tell it is fur because you see that ticking that's sticking out around it, around the shoulders, around the top of the head. You can see it's fuzzy, you can see the hair. It's kind of sticking out. What interesting about this is if this creature is, kind of like, because the eye, you would assume that the eyes would be up in a higher elevation on that head shape. So you know, is it crouching down? You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the eyes kind of give it a different. Uh, uh, it gives you a different perception of like, why are the eyes so low? They're almost down by the creature's chin. You know what I mean? They're like, you know, down here. But, you know, but it's definitely those eyes are, you know, and people saying those dog men, they do have that yellowish illuminating day and night, self-illuminating, like, you know, like those military sticks we have, you break them, you know, and they glow, those glow sticks, and they glow for like 10 minutes or whatever. But, you know, that's another spooky thing about these creatures, that these eyes stay lit. You know what I mean? It's not eye shine. They're actually, it's some kind of a
energy.
You know, it is weird. It's like, it's strange to have eyes that some kind of thing is going on there. And that's during the daytime, huh? What time of the day was that?
That was like around 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. I was doing it was early in the morning doing cardio. Early in the morning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I was just sharing photos.
I'm wondering if it's crouched like it's on fours.
Let me see if I can find the original picture so you can see how far away it is from me.
I'm just thinking the way the head is, it's like it could be on fours, crouching, and then it came up like that, you know, like, you know, on fours. So, because it doesn't appear to be standing. I don't know. What do you think, Abe? I mean, is it, you know,
I think it was standing. I'll show you the original picture, brother. I need to find it so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Let me find it real quick. I should have it in here somewhere.
Because it's pretty massive, that head, the whole. I don't see any ears, really.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
To me, it looks like it's crouching. Like, you know, if you picture on a football team, like the center, right? The center is going to hike the ball, right? So if you went in front of the center and looked at the football player, kind of like that. I mean, that's the perception I'm getting from just this photo right now. You know, it's like crouching, not on all fours, but kind of like a center in a football team, you know.
What did I tell you? I got another picture, but something with a white face. I'll share that one in a moment. Let me see if I can find the original photo of this real quick.
But you're not facing as the picture. What are you doing? Taking a picture just from the back? I mean, just like taking it
like this.
back.
Yeah.
You're doing. Oh, okay. Okay. I got. Yeah. So it's like a backwards picture. Yeah.
A selfie.
Yeah. I gotcha. So, you know, you're catching this thing off guard because, you know.
Well, the reason I went there and took it is because when I was walking through there, I kept on hearing something there. Every time I walked around the mall, I'll feel like something was looking at me, and I could sense something there.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm gonna go this ways, and I go back down the path where I was sensing it, but I'm gonna go behind it, turn around and take a selfie to see if I capture anything.
Yeah.
And
basically,
I captured it.
Yeah, you're kind of sensing it to ambush it so it doesn't disappear or whatever. But, you know, you surprise this thing, you know. So, I don't know.
But
Maybe.
now, where this thing was, it's like they build all kinds of houses over there now. So only God knows what kind of activity the people of those
Yeah.
where they built the homes, what kind of activity is there.
Crazy stuff.
Okay, here's your original selfie. I'm gonna send it so y'all can see the distance. Okay, here we go. Let me share it. Who do we got here? Rick Dalton. Okay. Let me catch up to the comments here. Okay, here we go. Let me share the photo. The original photo. Oops. I have to go to the beginning.
That's not that far away to me.
That's a good. That's like a good.
How far?
I would say like 15 to 20 feet away.
Yeah, I mean it's close, man.
Yeah.
That ain't that
And
far away.
look at all the debris that's there, all the brush, all the vines and stuff that are there. So this is some deep like stuff you can't even walk in there because there's so much debris
Yeah,
of
but that thing is to me it ain't standing up. It's crowd. It would be like the size, just the massiveness of the shoulders or the head.
yeah.
I don't know. Unless is it flat? What kind of tree is it sloped? You know, it's a sloped up like that towards the
No,
trees.
like if you go into there, there's like a depression. There's like it goes downward what do you call it? Where those trees are at, it's like it's inward, like
It dips down or what?
yeah, like a deep, like a yeah, like it deeps down behind those.
Yeah.
Behind me, it deeps down, like a trench.
Okay. Well, how far down? 3 feet? Four
Kind of like
feet?
a trench where water could probably fill up there. Like a little pond.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell about the terrain. Like if you go there, and you take those pictures and then or measure from the floor to where that tree is, the top of that bush, or that tree up there, then you could estimate. I mean, it's hard for me to tell, but I still think that close up looks like it's. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be neutral on it, but yeah, it's
pretty. It's pretty wide.
it's massive. Yeah,
Yeah, it's massive, massive.
yeah, it's very wide. And the head is huge, but it is got fur on it. That's for sure. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have skin, and it's pitch black. Which I don't know. These creatures that are pitch black, just
In
to me,
Spanish, we call them bulto negros, dark shadows.
yeah,
And they say bulto because it's a big bulto, a big shadow. So it's a big shadow.
and that's a
The
good
only thing
point.
that we know that
Yeah,
are big shadows will be the DDN, which are unclean spirits, darker
yeah,
than night. So this is during the day, and it's darker than night because it's real dark, standing in the
yeah. Good
background.
point. Good point. I didn't think of that. Because I always keep thinking that it's fur or whatever. But
So
again,
imagine that if I would have taken this photo at nighttime, it would have blended in the darkness, and I probably wouldn't be able to see it.
you'd never see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you would sense it. That's the thing. I
yeah,
think
sense it,
God,
sense it.
God has given us that fifth sense or whatever, sixth sense or whatever you want to call it. That the hair goes up. It goes up on your skin. Your skin turns into like chicken skin. Goosebumps, and your hair stands up on edge. And you just get this distraught feeling, like a sickening, feeling. I mean, I've had that happen to me. So
Let me see what else I got here that I can share with you all. I got the one with the shapeshifter skinwalker that's right beside me that I can share here with the members of Spiritual Cryptid Encounters. Let me go to it. Here's another crazy photo here. This photo is from Temple, Texas. Like I said, there's a lot of native land all throughout Central Texas. It'd be native land. So there's a lot of native spirits, when it comes down to the shapeshifter skinwalker. There it is. You can see the face below, but then you can see the height of the animal on top, like an animal face. Like right by the edge. I was walking by the path and he was like right beside me. And I was walking like this with a camera like this,
I got you.
moving towards the trees. Because when I walked in there, I sensed something to my left. So I said, okay, on the way out, I'm gonna put it to like this to angle to see what's on my right. And I was able to capture that image right here, which I have other images of it. Let me see. Yeah, it's about, I don't know which one stands out the most. Yeah, I got like 3 photos of it here. I think this one's pretty good, which is right here. Some people call it the Nuggle dish, shapeshifter skinwalker. The face is down here of the, and he's wearing, I don't know, it looks like a bear, the head of a bear or a wolf. Up, this is the hide up here on top of his head.
Yeah, I kind of see a little bit, but I'm not too familiar. And I know you talk about the skinwalker stuff a lot, and I read about it, I hear about it and everything, but I haven't studied the photos of trying to put it together. But here's the thing, Abe, is the Bible says, ask and you shall receive. So your Holy Spirit, you're asking, I want to see this stuff. I got to take pictures of it to teach other people there are these creatures and these DDNs that are out there. So, so what is God going to do? You're asking, you're asking sincerely, and God is giving you that gift to go, I'm going to just get your camera, your video camera, and do it, It's
not that I'm looking for anything, The thing is that they surface up, they show up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to be in the woods to capture them. I could be at my house and capture them because they'll surface up. They do use Mother Nature itself to, how should I say, teleport itself. It can use the roots of the trees, the waters, any elements it can use to its advantage. So that's one of the reasons it's always like in the wool lines or at the edges of the creeks. It uses the elements. It gets the energy from that to manifest.
Right.
And that's how I'm able to capture them because I sense them. My triggers get sensed. Of course I go there with protection. And that's when they surface up. I could be there doing something completely different. Like when I was going to go on the nature trail walk. The thing is, since I can sense them and I can see them at times, I already know what's there. So they know that I have the ability to see. So they come in numbers trying to prevent me to go into an area. One of the areas that I haven't gone back to, Chalk Ridge Falls, which is I haven't gone to that area. That's where I got shoved off the ridge by an unseen force. And I just thank God that the Heavenly Father protected me because I could have been dead as the way I hit all the boulders, big boulders with my body. I was all bruised up. I couldn't walk for about 2-3 months, Brother Scott.
Wow.
And I was on the warfarin. So luckily, I had no brain damage or anything like that. It was a terrible fall. I was bruised up all over my body. I
Did
look
you
like the
ever,
little girl from Willy Wonka, which turned purple.
did you
That's how
ever,
my body looked. Like
did
the
you
little
take,
girl that turned purple in Willy Wonka. It was black and blue all over.
yeah. Did you ever take any pictures of that
Good
site?
night, Sister Katrina Ball. Yeah, I have
Excellent.
I have some old pictures of it, of that area. It's just when I get up in there, it's like there's a lot of interference. That they don't want nothing to be recorded. The things that are there don't want anything to be recorded, so it affects your cell phone.
I gotcha.
But one day, I'm gonna go to that area now. I'm gonna overcome them, because I know that the Heavenly Father is with me, and uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna reveal them to the members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Now the entities there, they're huge, and they move in dark shadow figure form or spirit, and they're pretty massive. They move real fast, and they hide behind the trees. They pick around the trees, look at you. Next thing you know, they've moved already to another tree because they're spirits. So they're able to use the tree and go through the roots to go to the other tree. And as you're sensing spiritually, you'll be able to see a peak from another tree. Remember one time I went to this other location that my friend took me, and it's one of those. It was a trail walk that goes downward. So I'm on top of the trail, and I seen it running, moving real fast, going down. Then it stopped and it looks at me, and it just keeps on moving. But
Wow.
it wasn't moving like a regular person. It was moving in spirit form. So you're gonna be careful
Yeah.
because those spirits or DDN, unclean spirits, they do have the capabilities. If they can generate enough energy to show themselves to you, then they have enough energy to attack, like to literally make contact with you, hit you, or try to into your vessel to attack you spiritually. So you have to be careful. Those spirits, you gotta be careful when you're doing a walk because if you're too close to an edge, they can shove you and push you down. So you have to be very
I
careful.
believe that. Yeah.
So let me take this one off here. Let me see what else we got here to share. Well, I do got this one. This is like a old photo here. Here's the original. I'm gonna show you the original photo. See which one I want to show you. There you go. I'll show you this one. Now this one here is huge. This one here that I'm about to share is huge. Of course, I'm in the picture, so here we go. There we go. Look how tall that one is, Brother Scott.
Yeah, but see that head? That head is similar to that photo that I was talking about a couple back. Remember that one I was saying was crouching?
Mm-hmm.
And this one is actually standing up, and the head, it's kind of,
Downward some.
yeah, no neck, like a football player with shoulder pad. But what I'm saying is the head, it's not straight, it's
Downward.
yeah. And that other photo kind of, the other one, that one that was black, kind of had the same kind of, I would say the angle of the head was similar to this one, but this one's a lot better. The detail on this is
Yeah.
is really, and the shoulders too. Look at the shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now,
when I do the close-ups of it, it takes away from the picture, right? Because you're doing a close-up of it, but it's pretty tall. There's other things here, when it comes to the spiritual realm. If there's a portal, I think there's a portal right behind it, brother. Because I have a picture of the portal I think there might be a portal behind it, in which I believe it might have come through the portal because it's there in the sky. I said they might be coming out of the portal. The portal is back here. It's a circle that's off the ground, and I'm thinking that these things that are appearing are coming through the portal. No, they talk about portals or dimensions. So we'll say it might be coming from a different dimension. But the circle is right here. I have a picture of the circle that I can share a photo with you of the circle. But all these manifestations are coming through that portal. Because I got a picture of the circle, and it's around the same location. But there's one. It's got this big one here. There's another one right here. Possible other ones coming through the portal. So let me see if I can find the portal. Picture of the portal, and I'll send it to y'all.
Yeah, when you study bodybuilders, you know, you look at these entities and they have very similar body, like shoulders. The shoulders are real big. You know, when you study like these bodybuilders and stuff and how they work their shoulders with barbells and stuff. And this thing, you can see that the shoulder mass, you know, is you know, it's up above the neck, like, you know, they're so big that it almost comes halfway up to the head, you know. So the head looks like, you know, well, I would say, Scott would say, well, the head doesn't have any neck. Well, that's because the shoulders are so big, you know, that it's, you know, it's covering up, you know, halfway up the neck, like tremendous shoulders.
Here's the portal. Still got the same shirt on, but you can see the portal up here, the circle. I had already passed through there. So it was coming out of that area right there.
So why are these portals? And I don't know too much about it, but they seem to be always in a circular pattern, you know, like a ball.
Yeah.
And why is that? You know, I mean, is it kind of like, is it coming out? You know, is it like coming out like that? I'm just trying to demonstrate, like, you know, like that. You know, like a zooming.
That one literally is off the ground. It's not even on the ground. It's off the ground. It's up in the air. So
yeah.
I'm thinking portals can appear anywhere. Could be on the ground, could be in the water, could be in the sky, or mid-air or low to the ground. It just sometimes you will not be able to see it, but you'll be able to sense it because of the activity that's happening there. I wonder how many of these portals is around the world where these things come and go.
Well, do you think these things are fixed, or do you think they're just they show up when these entities either come through them or they're visible? I mean, I just, that's a question for me.
I think they use the portals. If this portal is from the hell realm, then that's what they're using to come through, right? Which the hell realm would be below us, or the abyss could be below us, right? So they're using that to come through, and they're generating the energy because the creek is to the front of me, probably like 25, 30 feet away, probably no, 40 feet away. So they're using the energy of the limestone and the water that's running through there to be able to generate the energy, to be able to. But somebody had to be doing something there in order for there to be an open portal. Something happened there.
Is that water making any noise or anything like that? As far as
No,
just a
no,
pretty stagnant kind of.
yeah. Sometimes it runs fast when the water rains up north or to the west. The creek gets filled up. I believe something happened there. You know, maybe possibly when the Tonka ones got killed by the other natives, by Comanche and Apache, and I think bloodshed, or possibly that they did some kind of ritual, a circle ritual that may be, like a blood ritual of the family holding hands, and because they don't want to die in the hands of the enemy, that they might possibly left an open portal there, and what comes out of there is territorial because it's for vengeance. So a lot of possibilities, you
Right,
know.
right. Yeah, and I know you probably researched all that. I haven't, but it's good to hear all this stuff. Because um, it's all this invisible realm that the common cryptid researcher would listen to this and go like, I don't see anything. I've never experienced anything, and it's not there. I mean, there's such a blindness on these people. It drives you
Well,
crazy.
they're more than welcome to go check it out for themselves in Elms Grove. The only thing I can say is
Don't go
to
there.
be spiritual ready, because the things that are there, they'll know if you have an opening. And if you had a bad opening because you're not in the right path, they will attack. I'm just letting you know, they will attack. They're very territorial, and they will attack.
Yeah, that
You
now
know,
that other picture you showed with the black, the other one the I saw another one if you go back to that initial picture of the black, you know, the black werewolf, yeah. Is that the one? No, not that one. The other one that was the brownish, the one that was brown, kind of brown looking. That one that had really good definition with the shoulders and everything. The brown one.
the brown one. Okay, let me
You
go
know,
find.
it's only a couple back that where you were. Because I saw another one. I was going to make a comment.
You're talking about this one?
Uh, yeah. Now, if you look to, if you look where your right ear is, if your right ear, okay, your right ear. Now just go straight up. There's one. If you move the cursor over a little bit, it's hard to direct you. But okay, right there, yeah. He's standing right there. That one, right? No, not circle. Right there. Right, boom. Right there, that. I think you missed it. You see it?
Right here?
No, you're missing it. Okay. Your right ear, just go straight up, and I'll tell you when to stop the cursor. Just go straight up. Right there. Right there. Okay, you're right at his head. Just come down a little bit on the cursor. That's it, right there. Boom. Yeah. There's one standing right there. Another one. That's what I see. I mean, that's
Yeah.
my capture, but
Yeah,
that
there's a
brown,
lot. There's another one
that
right
brown
here.
one, man. Oh my God. That thing's shoulders are like,
Yeah.
and I watch a lot of bodybuilding stuff, like motivation and, and stuff. And the shoulders, they're always, guys are and girls, they're working their shoulders, because that's a big part of, strengthening your body, because it's linked to everything, your shoulders, to your back, to your tricep, your bicep, tricep, all that stuff. But your shoulders are like, that's where you have, your rotator cuff and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's where it becomes the weakest in your body, which I am too. I'm a musician, but that rotator cuff, when it gets weak, there's all these tendons and fibers, and ligaments that are attached to that. That's why they do all that shoulder, rotation and lifting with the shoulders to get those shoulders like really big, because that's like one of the main things to support, everything else. So, but yeah, that thing had like that thing looked like a bodybuilder.
Look at that one, Brother Scott.
I don't see it yet. Let me kind of look at. I'm trying to.
I'm not seeing any comments. But I think I've seen Flowers say they stay right on the edge of the tree line. Yeah.
I kind of. I don't know. I get tired of looking to see. It takes a
Let me
while.
see if I can do the close up. If I get a close up of it or not.
You start to, when you see something good.
It's right here. The face is right here. You got the eyes.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Oh my. That is like, Abe, that is, wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty scary.
Yeah, and I caught it on camera because I could sense it right beside me.
Oh my God. How close is that?
You see my eyes looking that way? My left eye?
Oh yeah, but oh my God. Abe, how close is that? That's like, oh my God.
3 feet away.
I've never seen this photo before. I don't know if it's new or old, but I do. When
it's an old photo, brother.
Yeah, but
it's probably like 2 feet.
I never
was like right by the edge of the tree line.
I think it was one of those ones I could never figure it out, but I see it now.
2 feet, foot away.
You can actually see the pupil in the white part too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see the dark. You can see the white, and the other one is kind of, I don't know if it's shut or if that's a reflection. Anyway, you see the nose, yeah. It's kind of cute looking. Oh my God. It's coming right out of the tree bush there. Like,
Flower says the lights are lit up in yellow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yellow is not a good color. The reason I say yellow is because that's a possible shapeshifter skinwalker. I've seen the yellow eyes with the shapeshifter skinwalkers. One that took the manifestation of one of my neighbor's sons spoke to me. If you want to hear the story, I can share the story with y'all.
Yeah, do so.
Of what happened.
Do so.
Yeah, it wasn't happy. It was in the area. You ever hear the story of Peter and the Wolf?
What is it?
Peter and the Wolf, or Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, kind of,
Well, my neighbor, she was a Philippine lady. I'll share the story. She was a Philippine lady, and she lived in the edge of the wool line. And one day I was going through the path because I would take the path. When I first moved in there, I would take the path with my son to go to the store because it was a shortcut. We'd go over the bridge and we'll go to there was Dollar General in the corner. Then one day she called me and I went over there and I said, yes, how you doing, ma'am? And she was an old lady. She told me straight up. She told me, don't go into the woods. There's something evil there. That's what she told me. And I'm looking at her and I said, man, she's an old lady. She's Philippine. She don't know what she's talking about. And I said, what do you mean something evil? Yeah, don't go in there. Something evil lives in there. That's what she told me. So I just asked her to tell me, like, what does she mean about something evil living in there? And she just told me that one day, the story she gave me is one day she was picking flowers in the woods near to that path, but on the other side of the path. as she was picking flowers, that this giant snake came out of the woods and it wrapped itself around her. Huge snake. And that the snake spoke to her and told her something. And then I asked her, "What did the snake tell you?" And she told me, "I cannot tell you. The only thing I can tell you is there's something evil there." So I left that alone. I said, "Well, maybe this lady, she's old. She know what she's talking about." So I left it alone. And, I still kept on cutting through the woods and all that. Um, well, she sold her mobile home and she bought a house and she was moving. They had already moved the mobile home. And the day they moved the mobile home, I seen her son. I had never met him before. He was standing outside the fence, not in the yard, but outside the fence, by where the shed is. And he was just standing there looking at me. He's looking at me a certain way. Uh, he's looking at me like this. So I go up to him, "Hey man, how you doing? My name is." I tell him my name. I said, "So you're helping out your mom?" And he's looking at me a certain way, and he looks at me and he says to me, and I could see like a yellow glare in his eyes. He tells me that he is a historian, that he is a historian of Native culture. He told me that he is originally from Arizona. And then he told me, "Don't go in those woods." And I said, "Why is that?" And he says, "Do you know what a lycanthrope is?" I said, "I've heard the term, but what is it?" "You know what a werewolf is?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's what lives in those woods. That's his territory." He said, "Don't go in there because that's where he lives." And he's looking at me, and you can see the yellow in his eyes looking at me like a yellow glare. So I'm looking at it and I said, "All right, man." And something told me, my spirit told me, "Don't give him your back." So I walked backwards. So, "All right, you have a nice day." And I went back home and I kept on looking at him. I never kept my eyes off of him, but he stayed outside the fence. So then, like 2 weeks later, passed by. The house is already gone. And this time, there's a truck parked inside the fence by the shed. I see a guy loading the tools out of the shed into the truck. And be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I look at him. It looked like the guy. I said, "Hey, man, remember me?" And he's like, looks at me and says, "I've never met you before." I said, "Man, you were here last time when they moved the mobile home 2 weeks ago, and you was, you said you were a historian and not to go into the woods because there's a lycanthrope that lives in there, a werewolf." And I said, and it's like, "You told me you were a historian." I said, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about." He said, I don't even know who you are. I've never met you before." Then he said, "I'm a mechanic, dude." That's what he told me. "I'm a mechanic. I'm just here to clear out the shed." And then he's like, "You're freaking me out because I've never met you before." So I said, "Oh, sorry. I guess it must have been an inconvenience." But when I noticed is he did not have the yellow glare in his eyes. So I walked back home and it's oh, thought about it. It's like, yep, it was a shapeshifter skinwalker that took his manifestation, letting me know to go into the woods because that's like it's literally telling me that's where I live,
Oh my
but in the
God.
manifestation of that man.
Oh my
He
gosh.
said, "I've never met you before."
That
That's
is
when I figured out that the shapeshifter skinwalkers are very slick, man.
that is really, oh my gosh. That I hadn't heard that story, whatever. Because I hear a lot of stuff, but that's a really good story about uh, so this yellow tint or yellow is kind of a possible, it's a good learning tool for people, that come across something like that. If it's a paranormal, and that I'm just saying that, these are your
Yeah.
experiences that you're sharing that most people have never, ever, ever have experienced, and that's why I like listening to your show, because it's a lot of information that,
It comes from the same source.
yeah.
It comes from witchcraft and necromancy. The yellow that I've seen in the shapeshifter skinwalker, or that man, the yellow in the eyes, I've seen it also on the jinn when I was out in combat, on the person that he had possessed. It took over the body. The jinn wasn't a person. So when the person was looking at me, it had the yellow eyes. It's possible that maybe he was there and it took over him, right? That he spoke to me. So it could have been possible, but he said that was the first time he had come to help his mother because he was busy with work.
Yeah, that's hard to
So
differentiate.
it literally took a manifestation of her son.
What does the snake represent? I mean,
I think the snake represent. Well, of course, we know what the snake represents is Lucifer, Satan, right? It was in the Garden of Eve. I used to have a picture, man. I'm telling you, I had a lot of pictures, but when I got reported, I had a picture of a giant head of a snake looking at me in those woods. Huge. I just don't know what happened to the photo. I would have to look into the archives of where I've shared my photos to see if I can find it. It was literally looking at me. There was one time that the shapeshifter skinwalker, he was still pissed off a year ago. I moved from Elms Grove in 2015, Brother Scott Baker. So last year, before Halloween Day, I was here. It was at my old house. I was sitting in the house, and I had a telepathic message, or should I say, spiritual telepathic message. The shapeshifter skinwalker was pissed off at me. He told me that he was mad at me because I urinated where he lived. And I was like, wait a moment. And I was talk back to it. It said, if I get it corrected, you urinated on my doorways and on my vehicle first. So what I did, I drank me like 2 or 3 gallons of water, and I went into your territory because you came out of your territory, because I already knew what the lady had told me, and I pissed everywhere, Brother Scott, all over those stomping grounds or wherever you lived. I pissed everywhere. Then he told me, if I ever see you, and then he told me, meet me at this location. He said, when I see you, I'm going to shred you to pieces. That's what he said to me. And he showed me the location. I knew where the location was too. He said, when he sees me, he's going to shred me to pieces. But then I said, nah, you came at me first, so I just responded back to you. And I didn't give it no power no more. I said, I tie, bind, and rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. Leave me alone, But yeah, it made contact with me. This because they're unclean spirits. So it was pissed off because I urinated in his territory. In which, dogman or animals, they're going to say, hey, this guy wants to be the alpha. So I'm going to have to show him who the real alpha is, right? Me, he was marking his territory around my home, telling me he's the alpha. So I went into his area and I said, yeah, I'm the alpha of my home, and I'm going to protect my loved ones.
Right. Now, have you ever seen? Okay, you mentioned this guy had, this yellowish tint or whatever in his eyes. Have you ever seen or have seen anybody that their eyes, that they and I have, and that's
Yeah,
why
there's certain people that have. I
they
think it's
turn red.
called.
They turn red. Abe, the eyes will
Yeah,
turn red.
yeah. I've seen people with red eyes that but they're sick. Uh, see people with yellow eyes. I think is Jarvis or is some something wrong medically with them that their eyes turn
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah, I know what
But
you're talking about. But
I've seen that color, but this is a different color. It's a
oh,
color that
okay,
glows that
yeah.
the shifter skinwalker has,
Wow.
or the degen, or which I would say the DDN would have a red color at nighttime, and I've seen some that have a white color. When we see the one with the white color, what do you think that is when they have white color eyes?
Well, you had a couple photographs that had white
Yeah,
eyes
yeah.
tonight.
Well, we know what Wendigoism is, right? Wendigoism is the people go into the woods and they think that they're animalistic, you know, Wendigoism. So when they come out of the woods and they're there for a long time, they come out like if they're possessed. So Wendigoism, when they come out of the woods, they think they're animalistic. Their eyes are rolled back white because they're literally possessed. So I have a picture of something that was moving around us, and he had white eyes. Now, is it possible? I mean, that this DDN can possess they can possess animals, right? Or take manifestations, but they have white eyes. Where I think I have a couple of pictures. I have one of the one that's running that has white eyes, and then I have it in the dark where it still has white eyes, and I'm not flashing no flashlight, and it still got the white eyes.
Mm,
So that would be like a form of possession, something that's possessed,
right, right.
or possibly a Wendigo.
Okay, I just thought of the word about the eyes, the medical. I think it's called jaundice.
Jaundice, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
jaundice.
But let me ask you this: you didn't answer this question. Let me describe this. So at work, I had this story. Okay, this is a short story. So the boss's son, he got really, really furiously mad with the manager on something, and so he turned to me. He kind of looked. I saw his face, but his eyes went red. They went red. They turned red. You know. So what do you think that what happened there?
Well, if his eyes turn red, if he was mad, well, anger. When you're mad, that's a spiritual opening. Something can come into you. I've seen people that have had red eyes. Sometimes the people that have red eyes is because they have bad allergies. There's allergy and give you the red eyes,
This
or
hey,
people
this
that
was
smoke
not allergies, man.
people that smoke marijuana
Yeah,
have red eyes also because they're been smoking, right? So and
right,
if
right.
he was smoking,
Yeah,
well, marijuana, there's people that are addicted, and if they don't have the hit, but when they take their breaks, they go smoke real quick or whatever, their eyes can turn red. But possession wise, I've seen it happen where like the person that fell down on the street that got elevated and slammed like 3 or 4 times on the highway, that when he got up, his eyes were red. And the only thing he was telling me is like, "Come on, sir, let me help you." And I was in the middle of the bridge, and there's no rails, and it's like a freaking 20-foot drop into the creek. And I thought, "Come on, sir, let me help you." And he's coming at me, and he's saying, "Next time I see you, I'm going to kill you." That's all he said to me. And I knew that the person was an unclean spirit in him. So I ignored that, and I'm attending my love foundation, and I was praying within myself, the Our Father, and I said, "Come on, let me help you." And I was able to get him to cut across a highway. I'm glad that he didn't jump off the bridge, because something was in charge of its vessel. But I'm attending my love foundation and kept on praying, and I was able to move him to the store, in which I was able to bless the water to get rid of the unclean spirit that was in him. But yeah, these unclean spirits, if they can take over the vessel, they can jump in front of a vehicle, they can jump up a bridge, aka we got when we hear people that commit suicide. If it's got full control of the vessel, then it can destroy the vessel.
But it
That's why
was
I don't make fun of people that have taken their lives, because you don't know what their situation was, you know what openings, do you know what they were going through. So the only thing that we can do for when something like that happens for people that we know or that we love is pray for them, because we don't know what they were going through. We don't know how many unseen forces were coming after them or
yeah.
that they were targeted.
It's
You
kind
know,
of, had I known stuff that I know now, but I was like, 27 years old, whatever. I was kind of very naive on this job that I had in sporting goods. So, I didn't want to ruffle any feathers or anything. But, again, what I'm learning now, or what you're teaching, I bring these other stories that relate to this, that, that, could I approach, the boss's son and say, hey, listen, you know, uh, you know, don't get real mad, or approach it in a civilized way. But you know, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you, Love Foundation, man. I say God bless you. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Don't let the negativity.
Right.
Probably
Right.
he was trying to see if he can find a
Yeah.
way in to
I
attack
just
you
didn't have any of
spiritually.
that, Dave.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of that. I was kind of standoffish, and everything, because I knew, I had a plan that I wanted to get a different job or whatever. So, I wanted to just, kind of walk away from the job, without, any confrontational kind of things. But yeah, the guy's I mean, he was normal, kind of a normal guy, and, he was, I don't know, maybe, okay, if I was like, he was maybe 22 and I was like 27, let's just say, that age difference. But, you know, a normal looking guy where his eyes like actually manifest like red, you know what I mean? Like the pupil, and not bloodshot eyes or anything like that, but just like turn red. Wow. Like he was like kind of furious, like, this is, I don't know what it was, whatever. But this boss that ran the other store, I don't think the main boss really liked him too much, but he was kind of stuck with him, kind of one of those deals. But the son, his mom and pop store, but not to go on and on about it, but physically, I kind of like looked, it's, oh my God, you know. But you bring these stories up, and it reminds me, oh my gosh, I remember this thing. I got to tell Abe this. It's fun to tell these, because it brings back a lot of memories where I have no one to talk to about this stuff, Abe. It's,
Remember the round from earlier, brother?
what
The
is
one
it?
that looked like it had the two horns.
Yeah.
Look, that one had a red eye.
Oh.
See the eye up there? It's showing one eye, and it's showing teeth. That's what makes it confusing, right? When it's taking a manifestation and it's showing you teeth and eyes, makes you like, you see something like that, you're like, oh shit, that's got teeth, that's got eyes, it's got to be real. But that's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's
I
how they
mean,
get you.
it really is. It really is the manifestation of this. Um, and the thing, Abe, there's movies about this that, that I've seen in the past, and I'd have to probably go back and research it, but it just went in one ear and out the, you know what I mean? These movies showed it, but I didn't have the knowledge of that, of what it, you know what I mean? They show these things in the movie, but they don't, there's no, they put a little twist at the end, and that sort of thing, because it's Hollywood. But, they show these sorts of things, very subtle, but it's kind of like, that's why I like going back to watch all these movies over and over again to see, like, what are they really showing here? Because I never saw it before, So it's the same with your photos, especially that one that's looking, that's only 2 feet away. I never saw that before.
Yeah, I
Wow,
got several
man,
other photos like that. Let me see if I can find another photo here.
that was like,
Switch
right.
from this one to something else. Check out this one. I don't know what this is.
That's a hard one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Abe,
You see, this will be the face right here. Then over here will be the fur, but it looks like a face. I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah.
It may take me a couple times to look at it, because you close one eye, the other eye, or you blink this or that, or,
Hmm.
it takes a long time. But I agree with you 100%, Abe, because I would take photos with my Vivitar camera, because I was like into the supernatural stuff in the past, and I would see stuff in this photos too. I would go and I went and I went to Walgreens and I would blow it up, in 11 by 18. I mean, like big and and stuff, and and yeah, there's stuff in the camera eye that it picks up that you know and I would like be taking photos. I think I mentioned this once before, a long time ago on your show. Like, I would take photos of just like, of just like in the sky, just take photos, not even looking at anything, but just like, I think there was like a sense, like I was sensing something too, but because I was sensing it, I knew the camera, how big it would catch that, because there's no way you're going to look and take a picture and it's going to be there, So I was like taking photos blind without even looking, just going click, 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 without looking. I mean, it's like you're taking photographs without even looking. But there's something there,
Yeah.
because you become trained, almost like it's like invisible. You're taking pictures invisibly without your eyes. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. It seems like, whether
Well,
the spirit, is showing you this stuff.
when you have the abilities to see what's around you in spirit, it's just a gift that I've had all my life that I'm blessed with, that I'm able to capture the things that are around, and some of the things are territorial because when you go into their area, they're literally causing havoc in that area. So when you're there and you're a protector and you defend, you protect the people that are around you, they're going to get pissed off because you're interfering in what they
Yeah,
do. So it becomes spiritual warfare.
right, right. Yeah, and I was never into that until a little bit that we started having Bible study, and this woman, she introduced me to a lot of that aspect, through books or through, the language and talking about it, because I think also women have, they have this, I don't know, I think they do have a higher sense of feeling stuff, and and I don't know, she was especially. So it's kind of like I agree with you. I don't, I don't know about it, but I want to learn about it. I want to, but I think she was like a higher level of understanding, and it's hard to, it's hard to understand, to learn that unless you get into it, and I got into it a little bit, but I was not really a battler, that much,
Yeah, that one doesn't look happy.
Yeah, that's kind of a,
See
that's
the
one.
face, how it
Yeah,
looks.
that's one I'm going to have to keep looking at quite a few times. There's,
Yeah, well, this is I got the original pictures right here. The face is right here.
yeah, yeah,
The eyes. It's just the nose and the mouth. It looks pissed off. It's got a long chin. The nose is not a regular nose. The nose is upward, like something like a kind of like a bat would have the nose upward. You know, the nostrils, the
Yeah, yeah,
long. What it's called, elongated. Well, that's the way the nose is it looks freaked out.
yeah. That's kind of because yeah, that's a little strange one there. Doesn't really have shoulders, you know. I
Well,
mean, that could be a
it
fly,
was
that could
just
be a flying
taking. Yeah.
one, you know, because if the wings are down like that, it may have that kind of a build, So it could be a gargoyle or something like that that flies. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just speculating on all this, but you know, I really like all this stuff. It's really interesting.
I'm just sharing the photos to the viewers here of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Is there anybody got any questions that would you like to ask? I can go to what I was feeling that day when it was why I took the picture. You know, because I sent something. So when I send something and my senses are going crazy, then that's what. So it's there's something there. So I took a picture. Or this one, I think it might have been off of recording, but I kept on pointing the camera to where I'm recording to see what I capture because I could sense something there. You gotta trust your instincts. So long you maintain your love foundation and the Heavenly Father bless you. I had one that I had to get rid of, man, because of what I captured on the. I was recording and I sensed something beside me. I heard like a growl. So imagine I'm recording and I go like this, and the face of the demon is looking at me through the camera. Then it opens his mouth and he shows me all his teeth. And it's only like 1 foot away from me. So I go into prayer. Shut off the phone, because when I move the camera down, it's not there anymore, but it's still there. So I go into prayer. I shut off the phone and I throw the phone into the woods. It was literally like a foot away from me, smiling at me with all his teeth. The demon, I could see it through the camera.
So you got rid of it because the attachment was on that camera, right? That's why you got rid of it.
It was right there beside me. It just the camera was showing me that it was there beside me, but spiritually I could see it. I just didn't want to have that in my camera, or to take the camera, take it home, and then if the demon is caught in the camera, the demon's gonna come loose and run havoc in my house. So instead of taking the camera to the house, I got rid of it. That camera is somewhere in the woods in there.
Yeah, because
I'm not going to go look for it.
That attachment, yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to be careful.
Yeah.
I did the right thing, but it literally was looking at me and it smiled and showed me all his teeth. Like, then when I move the camera down, it's not there, but my camera was capturing it, that it was standing there right beside me, like 1 foot away. So what are you supposed to do? It was revealing itself to you. I went to prayer. That's all I could do. Go into prayer. I think that was one of the scariest moments that I had out there when I was trying to figure out what lured my son into the woods was that moment. Well, I've had a many I won't say scary because no fear, but moments of that nature that, like, there was another moment. My mom out there. There was this girl said she could astral project, that she was from California and she was in the military. My friend's sister brought her. She was in the military too. So she was saying all these things that you could do this and that. So don't be saying those things here too loud, because there's things here that are territorial, that don't like people that have gifts or spiritual gifts. They're gonna hear you, and they're gonna challenge you. And it's like she's like, I'm not worried about it and all this. So then it got dark, and she said, take me to that area. I'm gonna, if there's a portal that's open there, I'm gonna close it. You know, that's what she said. So I took her to the area, and I told her I had already prayed and everything. And I waited at the bend, and then they curved. And I told her, just keep on going, and I'll tell you where to stop, because she wanted to know where I got surrounded by the six. And I told her right there. So she's there, and not even 30 seconds, she says, "Oh my God, what is that?" Then she starts running. She's running full speed, and as she's running, something huge goes into the path. It's this giant red mass, like a orb, or not red. It was like yellowish. It was huge. She passed going out towards the entrance, and the big old yellow orb came, and I was prayed up. I was praying the Our Father. He stopped right in front of me, like looking at me, and then he chased her down. So by the time I got to the entrance, she's laid out. She got her energy. Her energy got zapped. I was walking with. I still had the DTV in my leg. So the other two girls, or whether they came and they picked her up and they started taking her to the street because I couldn't pick her up. And I was praying, and we took her all the way to the street, and then she's at the street, and she says, "I see him. Do you see him? Do you see him?" And she said she's seeing the dark shadow. The same things I would see. She's seeing them, and I'm looking. I'm not seeing nothing with the naked eye, but she's seeing them. They're coming. They're coming. And she started getting scared. We put her in the vehicle because she really got energy. Then she starts sitting in the back of the seat, and I told her, "Get her out of here. Take her. Get her out of here." And they close the door and they take her away. And I'm praying to make sure nothing follows them. So I'm praying. I'm not seeing nothing, but I pray for her. You know, what happened to her? She had bumps all over her face, all over her body. When she got zapped, there was like, I'm talking about. It looked like she had what's the disease where you start having like
Leprosy. Leprosy.
yeah, like leprosy.
Uh-huh.
All her face was deformed and her body was like leprosy.
Crazy.
And that's the last time I seen her. They never came back. They had all kinds of equipment. They were recording, and they never came back to they never came back to the park.
Hey, Abe, I just sent you on Facebook. Can you take a look at this photo and tell me, what is this? What is it representing? If it's on your Facebook Messenger. I was, you're talking about portals and stuff. So I've been seeing this, for a long time, but I want to get your interpretation. If you can go on your Facebook and look at this photo that I sent you.
Yeah, I'm trying to go in there right now.
Yeah, take a look at this. Like, what do you think this is? Is it an entry point? Anyway, you take a look at it first.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in there right now. Okay.
This is in Phoenix.
Oh, you're talking about the guy with the thing on his back, or which one?
Maybe I sent you the wrong one.
Wait up.
No, it's that stone circular. Yeah, scroll down or up or whatever. It's
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. What do you think that is? Now that was erected when they put the light rail in, which was probably 10 years ago, whatever that was. And it's at one of the main intersections of, Phoenix, above downtown. But
that's made out of limestone, man.
Well, what do you think it is, though? because it looks like some kind of portal entry or something.
That's what it seems like, because the things
Paranormal.
that are there, it looks like they got legs. It looks like art, but
I don't know, man. It looks
yeah,
paranormal.
it's an artist. They created it, but we've seen those circles dealing with uh, like Stargate and stuff like that, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's artwork.
I don't know if you want to show that on your show to see if anybody else knows about it, whatever. But I just, you're talking about portals and stuff, and it's like, this kind of look like, some sort of portal where people are going through or something, in an art form. But yeah, it just looks. I mean, it looks
Yeah,
bizarre.
it's art. The artist is Lan Everbuck. Yeah, it's art, but yeah, because the way the things are, looks like feet. So I guess it would be beams are made of limestone.
I don't know, man. It looks like a gateway to hell or gateway to something. That's my
Yeah,
interpretation. It
but that's
just,
limestone. Limestone stores energy. So I'm more sure if you were to go to the location, you're going to catch all kinds of activity, because the limestone, it stores energy from the sun. Then if you notice, there's a white circle in white around it on the
right.
ground.
Yeah.
So that is, if you step into that circle, then you might have activity. Things could happen, because their circle is where that circle and those, that art is in. But ritually or whatever, is you going into where the portal is if you step into that circle, which is the white line on the ground.
What
But
are
if
the
you were to stand, if you were to stand outside the white line and record, if there's energy, if any kind of activity that's there, will probably because the energy that's stored in the limestone. So you will have paranormal activity because of that
Yeah.
itself.
I mean, I haven't even researched it all, but I just, when you're talking about, this portals or whatever. So I said, I gotta go look this thing up again, see if I can send it to you. You know, it just looks weird. It looks like some kind of a interdimensional portal thing that, I mean, it's, and the thing of it, it's not like near a museum or anything, Abe. This is like in a major intersection that it's like, to me, it's like, it doesn't look like it should be there. It's like it taking all the space up. I mean, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the, you know, uh, uh, and it's, a big slice of the corner, you
You
know.
say Justin Springsteen say he lives in Tucson. The state of Arizona blows out tax dollars on shitty modern art constantly. In Tucson, we have the Snake Bridge, a big bridge for bikes that looks like a diamondback rattlesnake.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I
the
just,
beloved, the beloved city says, "Holy crap! Your guest is an actual dog man."
and this is my little possum. Yeah, there's a song, a guy wrote a song, one of these, I'm into the bluegrass music a lot, and they wrote a song called 5 Pounds of Possum. It's kind of a roadkill type song. So,
Roach.
yeah. So I got this off of Amazon when I play and stuff, to kind of emulate, anyway. So, but I don't wear this though.
In about 50 minutes, I'm going to call it a night when we hit the 3 hour marker. Uh, any questions for anybody? Any questions? Any questions? Let me see what else I can find here for y'all. Let me see what else I got here. What else I can share here with y'all? No, I had downloaded several pictures, things that I wanted to share. Yeah, this is the better view of the other one that I shared earlier. Let me see if I can see this one. Let me see if I can share it one more time. It's the one I shared earlier today. Let me share it with y'all.
Yeah, I see the teeth. I remember seeing this once before, but again, I'd have to look at it a couple times to get the full picture of it.
I do got videos here. Let's see what I can look into the video archives and share with y'all. Spiritual encrypted encounters. And some of the things that I've captured out there in the woods. Which one should we show them? What do y'all want to see? I'm in a different. I want to show y'all something.
I like that owl one that you had. It was like a big owl that was standing
Yeah.
up. That was like 12 foot tall.
Oh yeah.
That one was pretty crazy.
Let me see what this one is. Yeah, this one here that I'm going to show right now is freaked out, man. I don't know what the hell it is, but it looks like a dog, man. And it was on the edge of the wool line. Let me share it with y'all. So it is about werewolf DDN. So let me share this one. Check out this one. I haven't shared this one in a long time.
Wow. I haven't seen that one before.
Look at the eye, how big the eyes are. Yeah. It's got a mouth open. But look at the eyes, Brother Scott.
Yeah, the close up. That's incredible. See, and this is the thing people don't see. The cameras, you're able to zoom in, and it brings it all out. It brings the definition, the size, and everything out.
I think there's two of them there. There's another one behind it with a white face. Let me go to that real quick. Oh shoot. Okay. When it gets close, I'll pause it to show you there's more than one. Okay, I'll pause it right there for right now. You got this one here with the eyes,
Yeah.
the mouth, and then back here is a face of one with a white face.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
standing right
yeah.
there, and it's got a white face.
Right. It got a black nose with the white
Yes.
around the snoot. It's all white.
There you go.
So that could be a baby one or something.
Two of them, a big one and this small one here, but there's two of them. That one's right behind it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether it's big or old or but the definition is pretty stands out with the eyes and the snoot and the teeth.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a look. I don't know. That's black, right? Because I'm looking at the thing.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a greenish black, but again, the filter, whatever it is. But wow, that's
There you go.
amazing. That zooming in like that, these things are so camouflaged that you
Yeah.
cannot even see. You know, and you got this huge thing like in the trees. Oh God, you know.
Yeah. It's like this one was chasing this one or something. I don't know, but this one looks kind of scared, don't it?
Yeah, his mouth is open, you know. I mean, he doesn't look like, I think he's got two like fangs in the front, you know. The bottom ones are kind of like, you know, crushers, but he does have, or she, whatever you want to call it, but it's got some smaller fangs in the front, you know, with the smaller teeth in the, you know, in the front and then on the side, you know, like down. But yeah, that's a good one. And the eyes, you see the white eyes with the black pupil.
But the one in the bag has black eyes.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that guy again. I'm trying to see. You know, it's funny. I see it before, then when I look at it again, I can't find I can't find it. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least, brother Scott, being jumping on spiritual encrypted encounters, you're able to see now in spirit things that are there. Yeah, I have a lot of videos, short reels that I haven't even shown. I haven't shown too much, but here's definitely two right there. What comes in many, we already know. Legion or many. Sometimes that I'm out there, I'll hear pig sounds. Like I capture the pigs on my where I heard the pig sound. I'll go back to it, and I'll hear the pig sound, the sound of a pig on my recording on the EVP where something was making a pig sound. But what they're doing is actually identify them. They're identifying themselves to you through spiritual law, what they are. You know, we know what went into the pigs. Legion. Trust me, if there was javelinas, that would attack. You know, especially there'll be a mom near there, but I'll be able to hear it very loud. But no, they show themselves in the nature. So let me take this one off for right now. Okay, let's see. I can find another one. How much? We got a couple of minutes here. Oh, this is another creepy one here. Let me share this one with you. Check out this one. You know, when we talk about DDN, we talk about that they're in spirit form, right? Check this one out. See if you see it. And that on the ground is a canopy. That was a location where the guy that passed away was found. But that's a canopy. You know those umbrellas like for patios. That's on the ground. But there's something standing right there. Let me see if I can push play. Oops. Huh. There we go. It's going to show the picture. Yeah, there's something. There it is right there. There's a couple of them. But I'll keep on pushing play. They're in spirit form. the naked eye might not be able to see them, but the camera can capture. I like going out there when the ultraviolet rays of the sun are out because the ultraviolet rays of the sun will break its manifestation. You see that, Brother Scott?
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff in that one. Yeah.
Look at that!
Like,
look at that one.
yeah. I think I told you once before, I used to use those. Well, I got those blue blockers, and they have a yellow when the clip-ons. I wear glasses, so I put the clip-ons on, and it's kind of everything. The sky is blue, right? So when you look at the sky, it's yellow, and those things, man, I was like taking photos a long time ago when I kind of moved here. I was like into a lot of this stuff, and you could see a lot of stuff with those blue blockers, and then I would put the blue block. I would put the blue, take it off, put the blue blocker, the lens, and I put it over the shutter for the camera, and I can't remember what was taken then, but just visually seeing with those blue blockers, I could see a lot of different stuff, stuff in the sky, flying around, orbs, all kinds of different stuff, just crazy stuff. And I'll take photos of it. And, but yeah, those, blue blockers kind of, and I don't even have those anymore because I don't really do that stuff anymore because I'm into a different hobby right now. So
This is the one you were talking about the giant owl.
owl, yeah. That one is.
Let me see if I could push play so y'all can hear what I'm saying on here. Man, what the?
You dub it.
What's going on?
That's something else. That's not your music. Dubbing in stuff, man. The DDN are dubbing in your music.
Okay, let me. You froze it up, Brother Scott. Yeah, this is the one you're talking about, the owl, right?
Yeah.
That he's turning his head. So I think I have the original video here. Here we go. Believe. Oh. Right here. My hair's already stood up, brothers and sisters. I feel something here. From this area. This is the open space where the thing was hovering. Came from the believe. Oh. Right here. My hair's already stood up, brothers and sisters. So here's a close-up of it. I'm gonna stop it. There it is. It's got a big beak. There's the eyes. It turns its head from left to right. That's huge. It literally turns its head from one side to the other. There's a big beak. Is it the owl from the Tootsie Rolls? I was just trying to show you how tall it really is off this photo.
Yeah, I mean that's
Look,
got
it's
to.
standing sideways right there. He's going to turn his head all the way around. Look, there it is. It turned it.
Is you think that could be a thunderbird? I know they say they have those thunderbirds in Texas. You know, those.
You know what, brother? All I know is
But
it's
I don't
pretty
know.
tall. But you seen it turn his head, right?
Yeah, I mean it looks like an owl though. You know.
But that's a huge owl, ain't it?
Well, like you said, it's it's a manifestation.
Yeah,
It's
manifestation.
this is not. These aren't. You know, these aren't animals that. These aren't deer and bears and stuff like this. These are.
He turned his head. You seen it? Look, it's going to turn its head.
Yeah, yeah.
Turn his head all the way around.
Yeah, yeah. And nobody would really catch that. You really have to see because it's very short, but
Turned it. Here you go again.
yeah, like it doesn't want to be seen because it's like you got the camera on it, then it turns its head right away. Like, uh-oh, I got caught. It's like I gotta hide. I gotta
blend in.
well, the eyes are giving it away. Whatever that is. The eyes, I think it's the eyes, but the eyes have to turn because the camera is like focusing, boom, right at it. And it's like, uh-oh, I got to hide, But yeah, that's pretty tall. I mean, at least 10 feet, at least that height, at least that.
Yeah, pretty tall, 10 to 11.
If you
maybe 12. I would have to go there and measure it with a
yeah. But yeah, as you get up close, you can kind of see the height.
You see how it turns its head, brother? It turns its head all the way around.
Yeah, I didn't really see that.
Check it out. It's looking. There's an eye. One of the eyes is looking that ways. Now it's going to turn its head.
Yeah, from left to right.
There you go.
Yeah, and they're like
crazy.
It's very bright too. Those eyes are like. I mean, it's. Yeah, I don't know. But owls. I don't know. It's again. It does appear to be. With that beak thing.
Yeah, it's got a giant beak. There it is. Giant beak. Got the beak right there.
God, could that be a praying mantis too? I don't know, man. God, you know what I mean? God, like that with big eyes, the big eyes.
I don't think it's a praying mantis, but because it looks like an owl.
Yeah, I mean, I just because I studied etymology, the study of insects in college.
What's the name of the owl that the Clintons were involved with? Was it Moloch?
Yeah, Moloch. Yeah, that wooden owl that's in Northern California that they worship. Yeah.
There you go. Well, there you go. Does it exist? Well, there you go. There's a giant owl right here.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a demon, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, and you have every president and official, all these government officials going there, and they do a mock ceremony of killing a baby there. And I mean, can you imagine this stuff goes, and it's, I think that Alex Jones, he took a video camera, he snuck in there and took a video of it. But you got these people in their white robes, and they got a boat that looks like something from Egypt, like in the water, and they do this mock ceremony. But I mean, this was like back in the 90s, I guess, or 80s or 90s. But can you imagine? I mean, you had Richard Nixon there and Henry Kissinger and these presidents and movie stars. And I mean, it's like, what kind of world are we living in here? This illusion that we're living in, all this stuff is going on behind the scenes and nobody knows about it. It's like they make all the decisions there, the multi-trillionaires and billionaires and stuff to run the world and stuff. Well, everybody can research that, so, but yeah. Well, Abe, I'm getting tired. I'm going to sign off.
All right, brother. Well, I really appreciate it. We hit the 3-hour marker. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Brother Scott. You want to leave the final words to the viewers?
Just be observant, everybody. Be vigilant, and the stuff that you learn on the show, spiritual warfare, study up on it, get some books, read about it. And just because, I was attacked and out of my mouth came the words, Jesus, help me, and that DDN, I guess you would call it, it was strangling me. And so, I've had some experiences, but, it's having that, Jesus Christ, as your immediate words that come out of your mouth. You should have that locked and loaded, and, other prayers in your quiver, that you can pull out and stuff when you're battling this kind of stuff, to prepare. Because I think it's going to I think the spiritual warfare, Abe, I think it's going to there's going to be a lot more deception from the videos that I watch and stuff. I think that there's so many levels of deception that's going on that the Bible says even the elect, okay? And I'm talking about, I think what he's talking about is the people that are spiritually, they're spiritually aware of all this stuff. It says, the Bible says even the elect will be deceived, So there's going to be such a, but being prayed up and having that the spiritual love foundation and all that is to be able to pull it out at a moment's notice. No hesitation, no second thoughts like, oh no, what was that again? I mean, you just have to come out and just like a machine gun, and to ward off this, this stuff. But I believe that's going to get stronger. I think there's more stuff happening, and this deception, I see it already. It is, there's so much BS. It's beyond. It's over the top. It's so over the top, and my God, this whole UFO thing too. That's, all that kind of stuff, all these sorts of things. But again, it's a great deception, and just being prayed up, be vigilant, and always have Jesus Christ, in your heart. And, that's all we really have. It's that spiritual, the creator, that's the main form of defense that we have. Because I think I wrote something down on your comments before, the full body of armor it's not physically, you know, and when I first looked at that, you know, you see the pictures of, you know, the belt of truth and you know, the breastplate of righteousness and all, you know, they go through this, but you know, that gives you that spiritual perception, but you have to see like beyond that. And when you read it, it's about spiritual battle that goes on, but they're just, the scriptures just kind of bringing out, you know, a metaphor, you know, in our simple way of, well, the way God is portraying, you know, all these types of armor that we have on to fight this battle. And so there's all that scripture to it. So anyways, I'm going to sign off. So that's all. You know,
All right, Brother Scott. Well, thank you very much. God bless you, brother. You and your family.
Thank you, and thanks for your show and all the people on the comments and everything listening. So I'll see you next time.
Tomorrow we have open mic night, y'all. Take it easy, Brother Scott.
Oh, woo, woo.
There you go, Brother Scott, call it a night, brothers and sisters. I want to say thank you for everybody that tuned in here for DDN Werewolf Wednesday. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Of course, I have a lot of more other footage. I try to mix it up by sharing pictures. I try to share videos. But what I really want is if people do have had experiences dealing with werewolf, lycanthrope, shapeshifter, skinwalkers, DDN, any kind of activity like that, and you want to share your story, you can always come on tomorrow night or later on tonight, where we got a open mic Thursday, so you can share your encounters. So whatever you want to share, you know. How you doing, Shay Black King? And in saying that, I hope you'll enjoy the show. We went 3 hours and 12 minutes. Go Spurs, go Spurs, go. I was watching that game. That's why it took me a while to jump on. But I want to thank you to the moderators, always doing an awesome job moderating. Thank you for everybody that tunes in to Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. And I hope you'll enjoy the show. In saying that, love, light, and blessings to you and your families. Just always remember to maintain a Heaven Love Foundation. Don't give power to the enemy in any kind of way, shape, or form. No fear, because Jesus Christ is with us. And if you ever went up in a situation, don't forget to test the spirits. Tie, bind, and rebuke them in the name of Jesus Christ, brothers and sisters. Through the name of Jesus Christ. In saying that, this is Brother Abe Cias. Soren C.S. signing off from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Iron Knights.